Hey, this is Anthony. Welcome to my channel again. I realized that I haven't done a garden tour, which is everybody wants to see a garden tour. And Elizabeth was out here about to pull some peppers that were ready, and I thought, you know what, I should do a garden tour. So I went around and showed everything in the garden, and didn't show my face. But I'm doing pretty well right now, actually. You know, a lot of this garden stuff is about my health. I've actually lost almost 20 pounds and doing pretty well with that. I'll have some more stuff. There's you know, we're gonna do lots and lots of videos. Part of this is gonna be cooking videos. There's a drink that we're drinking right now that's really good called jamu. It's an Indonesian turmeric and ginger and honey and lemon drink that it's a little bit complicated to make, but not super complicated. But it's really, I think it's really helping us out. But as you can see, this is our garden, and I'm about to give you a tour of it. Just as a note, we last, I guess it's been a week. We not this week, but last week we were on vacation up in North Georgia and went backpacking, and I had a great time up there, and very restful and healing. And but while we were gone, the weeds just went crazy, and we're you know, sort of recovering from that. It's like a never-ending process. I'm gonna work on some ways to keep weeds down that are natural and organic. Part of that is the use of, I don't know if you can see it over there, but there's some cardboard on the ground. We're gonna use that. We're gonna move all these, you can't see the pots probably in here. There's a ton of pots.
There are pots
that are just covered up by weeds and grass, but we're gonna move that all over into that area, and then weed all that out and get all that out. So it's just a never-ending process. There's part of the garden that you're not going to see is a little potato bed that we have over there. I guess the rabbit hutches aren't in here, but our property is 1.7 acres. Probably about half an acre of it is on the other side of the creek, which is going to be a while before we get to that. But this is the part that we are currently working on converting into food production, and it's going well. You know, there's only so much you can do at a time, but we're and also I'm a beginner. You know, I wouldn't even consider myself intermediate yet. I'm just trying a whole bunch of stuff and hoping it works. And anyway, sit back, relax, check out this garden tour, and I hope you like it. It's our garden jungle. Okra's coming up really well. I just had one for the first time this morning. Our rattlesnake beans are growing up the trellis just like I wanted. And our peppers are really producing. This is our sweet pepper bed. I don't know if you can see those in there. But Miss McWinnie's gonna harvest some.
Yeah.
Yay! While she does that, I'm gonna do just a quick little garden tour. You see all these squashes here? This is all butternut squash. If you look behind her, but there's one right there. There's one over here. There's one over here. There's one out here. This is all one plant. This is all one plant. You can see this thing's going crazy. Come across through the old corn and the old beans. And that was one plant. Now here's the second plant, that's what it's done. This really hasn't done very much, and it hasn't produced any fruit. So I'm going to see if these leaves are edible. Here's the impossible carrots. I was convinced would never grow. My daughter absolutely needed some carrots, and I begrudgingly made her a bed, and lo and behold, carrots. So I'm not going to show you everything in the garden, but I'm just going to give you a quick overview. This is our spicy pepper bed. You can see these cowhorn peppers back here, and poblano peppers over here. That's an Anaheim pepper right there. Some cayennes. And notice I put rabbit manure. And then this is a story of a bed. Okay, so these are, you see arugula. That was the first thing I planted in this brand new bed. Did not do well. Now it's doing fine. Back here and mixed in are some Nam Tao Yao and a Florida or a Seminole pumpkin. And these are tomatillos that are growing up. They're not doing what I want them to do. They're growing and they're flowering. These beautiful flowers. These beautiful flowers. All over, but they're not setting fruit. This gorgeous thing has produced a lot of salad for us. That was a volunteer that comes back every year. It's a bloody dock is what it's called. You can see why. Bloody dock. It's real big. There was one right here that was all over the place. I had to mow over it. But it'll come back. There's a rootstock in there. Okay, this was a lush, beautiful garden bed, lettuce bed. I'm trying to switch it over. I'm trying to also collect some seeds from the lettuces that were there. So I left these guys in there. I'm trying to switch it over to a callaloo bed. And in the back here, I've got so green amaranth up here, which they're just not doing well. And in the back is green Malabar spinach. It seems to be they might be coming back from their transplant shock, but I don't know. Okay, so then I threw some green beans in here. They grew, but they're not pretty. They're not pretty, and there's some more story to that. And then in here you can see some red amaranth, red striped amaranth, and in the back have some green Malabar spinach, or red Malabar spinach. You see all these weeds? It's all from I used my own compost in there. My compost is just filled with weeds, and I think I learned a lesson. Okay, so then we're to the basil bed here. I know it kind of looks okay, but to my eyes, it looks terrible. This is all Thai basil. You can see those beautiful red flowers. This stuff is yummy. It's very tall right now. Then this is a mix of Genovese basil, and this is actually a purple basil that turned yellow, or turned green. But there's a lot of yellow. See the yellow? See, I wasn't completely organic before. I'll just say, I just wasn't organic before. I should just say that. And I switched over to being, and I had lush basil growth. Let's just say that they love the synthetic fertilizers, especially foliar feed kind of stuff. The blue crystals, right? But as soon as I switched over to a non-organic, to an organic system, man, they really are protesting. So I don't know if it's the soil isn't ready yet, or it's just so new, or I'm just seeing, I don't know what the deal is. Yeah, so this is my parsley. It's looking great, but it's not as great as it was. All right, you see? Here's a couple of more tomatillos, and you always want to plant 2 tomatillos together because they need to fertilize each other, unlike tomatoes. These are a couple of 3 onions that Trey had from a while back. I just found them in a pot and I threw them in the bed. These are some bunching onions that I planted actually underneath the tomatoes, and which was a terrible place. So I transplanted them. They're coming back. It's a little bit of dill. This is a bed of mesclun that's going, that's bolting. But it's, you know, looks pretty okay. It's provided a lot of salad. Some more tomatillos, again, not setting. Some more green beans that don't look great. They just, maybe it's just because I planted them because of the time of year that I planted. I know there's at least one in here, but you can see I got a green bean right there. And not great. Tastes good. A little bit old because I didn't know what was in there. Okay, this is a hybrid cucumber. It tried to produce a few, but they got eaten up or rotted off. This is a Marketmore cucumber. It looks better than the hybrid. This is a second crop of peas. We had sugar snap peas in here. Now we've got sugar snap peas and sweet peas. And then a new bean. This is a, it looks like the wasps are cutting on it. But these are only 2 weeks old. And, well, I guess 3 weeks. We transplanted them, put them in there. Those are winged beans. These are one that's supposed to like the hot. That's what we may be learning, is the green beans don't like the hot over there. Then our super productive tomato bed, which I'm learning some stuff about tomatoes. You see, I still got some really good big ones. Okay, so then here's the, okay, that is a Seminole pumpkin, that big one, and it's supposed to come up this trellis. And then there's some big arugula that didn't really start growing until I put the Namtal Yao in there. You see those guys? Those are supposed to come up here too. Those are one that you can eat the gourd like a, it makes a gourd, but they'll hang down from this guy, and you can eat it like squash. Here is a sweet pepper. This was one of the sweet peppers. This is more Namtal Yao. These gorgeous okras took a while to get going. As you can see, there's a beautiful bloom in here. Right there. And there's lots of little okras on it. I took that one off. There's one right there. That's so yummy. There's okra all in here. Now you can eat these leaves as well. Then this squash is a volunteer. You can't, I've got so much weed action going on right now, you can't see the little pots that are in there. There's peppers in here and stuff. I'm gonna clean that out later. Sort of doing this on the fly. There's some more tomatillos. These are all volunteers that came up from my compost. We've got more Thai basil. That's where they started off. Got a bunch of mint in here. This is all moved from their original location. These are 2 Florida or Everglades tomato plants that I've heard so much about, and I got 3 to germinate. 2 of them survived. Hopefully they'll produce all through the summer. This is turmeric. Very excited about the turmeric. That right there, those are some sugar cane that are coming up. That I'm going to put back here. And that is a transplanted banana plant from one of these dwarf bananas that we have that produce little tiny bananas, but they're not edible size. They never do anything. So turmeric is up. I'm very excited about that because I eat a lot of turmeric. Then in here, again, weedy, I know, look, there's pots all in here, but there's tons and tons of mint. There's some slow bolt cilantro that's bolting. There is some spearmint back in there. These 2 I'm very excited about. Those 2 are ice cream banana plants. Again, they're gonna go back here in the swampy area. And my basil, some more basil. It's just not doing well because of things, and I'm not sure exactly why. Over here, the future of my consumption, longevity spinach. I got those and they were just sticks in the mail. This is a gift from a friend from church. It's lemon balm and some lemongrass. There's a couple of 3 tomatoes that we just harvested. Oh, there's one back in here that I just it's ready to come off. Let me see. Yummy, yummy. And see, I think that's a purple Cherokee. You can tell an heirloom tomato because it's green on the top and it's got color down here.
There's another good one, but it's stuck on the wire, so I have to get you to cut it.
Okay, there's a wire cutter right over there. So these are 3 that I grew in pots, 5-gallon buckets that I just did from trimmings off of these main guys. And then back in here is more of the future of our green consumption. This is Okinawa spinach, and then mixed in the weeds in these buckets, you can see some Vietnamese coriander. I got it because people say it's a good substitute for cilantro. It's not. It's not really. I tried it, and it's a cilantro-y flavor, but there's also a pepperiness to it. It's a weird thing, and I was hoping that my son, who is one of the people who doesn't like cilantro
because it tastes like soap to him.
Right. This was supposedly maybe would be a less soapy alternative, and
the funny thing is, like, cilantro doesn't taste like soap to me. I love cilantro. Put it on everything, but this one tasted a little soapy to me.
Oh, really?
Yes.
And for him, it was even more soapy.
Yeah. And the whole point of it is that it's not supposed to taste soapy to the soapy people, and it got soapy for me, and I'm a non-soapy person.
It's not the whole point. It's a possibility, you know.
Okay.
Like maybe
well, that was our point.
Yeah, that was
that was our hope.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nope.
Some more cucumbers back here. That I don't know if your cucumbers grow up into your banana plants, but ours do, and they didn't really do any good because I planted them late. A few more cucumbers over here. Here's our pepper harvest and some tomatoes this morning. Here's where the planting magic happens, and then got some seed trays over here. That is the bulk of the garden. Oh yeah, so that's the bulk of the garden. I'll take you over here to the sweet potatoes real quick. This is going to be a new bed. I'm trying some stuff there. There's a navel orange that I'm really nursing over there. Here's a new compost bed. I just put a bunch of stuff in. Here's an old compost bed that has got glorious stuff, and there's some compost right there from it. Yeah, you can see I'm real organized with my stuff. So the sweet potato. So the goal with this is to turn this whole yard and property into food production. So we see this whole bed up here. So this right here is sweet potatoes grown from slips that I did in our yard. This is a purple oriental sweet potato. That, man, they're great. They're very tasty, and you can eat the greens off of this. You can eat the potatoes off of this, and it's a great ground cover. You can see it's doing a really good job so far. It's really soon it's gonna start covering enough that I can start pulling stuff off. And I'm gonna do a whole post on sweet potatoes and slips because I got a bunch of stuff upstairs, but slowly converting this bed into all sweet potatoes. Do you grow your sweet potatoes under your palm trees? I do. All right, so that's the first garden tour. Working on a lot of things and trying to convert things over. So it's not giant, but it's pretty awesome for me. And we'll talk about these trellises. We'll talk about that trellis there, and talk about a whole bunch of stuff. But for now, there's your first garden tour. Bye. So that's our garden. That's what we're working on all the time. I'm proud of it. It's not perfect, but it's working for us. There's a whole lot to go before we're producing food all the time. But our next big deal is going to be this longevity spinach, and I'm going to try and figure out what to do with that in the garden. You'll notice. Well, I can't get to it. One of our next videos is going to be on longevity spinach, what it's for, what it does, where you plant it, and how good it is for you. So that's our garden.